Introducing Lucha Underground. Lucha, 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 Lucha.
Lucha Underground fans, it is your boy Alyx, man. This is my review of Night 1 for Ultima Lucha Does. Guys, 3-night event. Tonight was an hour, next week is an hour, and the third night is 2 hours. And if tonight is an indication of what to expect, we haven't even gotten started yet. And this is already one of my favorite shows of the entire year. I loved this episode. I loved Night 1. This show continues to showcase why it is the premier show in wrestling. My personal opinion, of course. Lots of good matches tonight. All of it surrounded around the For a Unique Opportunity tournament. It involved the Mac, the man they call Cage, son of Havoc and El Dejano. They all had their semifinals matches, and a twist was added to each match because Dario Cueto came out before each match and literally gave a random stipulation to mix things up. And boy, what we got as a result was some of the most brutal matches I've seen, all season. And we haven't even gotten started yet. So let's go ahead and talk about these matches. And I will give you a full review on each match like I do every single wrestling review. Whether it's WWE, TNA, NXT, whatever. So here we go. First match on the show. Semifinals for a Unique Opportunity. Cage versus the Mac. And Dario Cueto makes this match. Falls count anywhere. It was bloody. It was violent. It was brutal. A throwback to their first match at Ultima Lucha last year. Remember, these two opened up the show last year, and that match was hardcore. This, I don't know if it topped it, but it probably was just as brutal. It most likely was just as brutal as their match last year. These two beat the living hell out of each other. Weapons, powerbomb through freaking chairs, and then fucking frog splashes through tables. Mac did a frog splash from the audience all the way down to Cage through a table. That was brutal. There was guitar shots. There were tools. I had to look at my script here because I don't remember all the spots. So much happened. Chains. They took a broken picture. They got one of the picture frames out of Dario Cueto's office. They went into Dario Cueto's office, got a picture frame, and then I think it was Cage that broke it over the Mac's head. Most of all, blood. We got blood. It was good, man. Of course, though, like last year, Cage lost because he slipped on beer, which I thought was completely fucking hilarious. So you go through all this time doing all these crazy spots to Mac, beating him down to a point that you actually had the match won, and you slip on beer, and Mac pins you with a roll-up. I just thought that was funny. I thought that is completely hilarious to me. That's funny. But a great match. Great match. The second match, I think the second match might be my favorite. It is a Boyle Heights bar fight between El Tejano and Son of Havoc. Semifinals for the Unique Opportunity. And man, to me, I'm someone that's been watching hardcore wrestling for a very long time. I've seen some brutal spots. I've seen a man jump from a Titantron. I've seen a man set someone on fire. I've seen someone get a cheese grater and rake it over their head. I've seen someone get a stapler and staple someone in the eye. I'm someone you would think would be used to that kind of violence. But man, when I saw Tejano being slammed on those broken glasses and bottles, and it sticking out his back. I squirmed like a little girl. I was like, oh, it was brutal, man. It was a brutal fight. When I tell you, when I say this was one of the most horrifically looking fights I've seen in Lucha Underground, I am not kidding you. Okay? You will cringe. If you don't cringe at this match, you have become numb. You have become cold-hearted. You, my friend, might need some help. No, I'm just joking. But, man, this match was hard to watch at some points. I don't know, just the sight of glass sticking out of Tejano's back and, man. And then Son of Havoc broke glass in the ring, and then the ring was covered in glass, and they were slamming each other over. Nah. Okay, it was brutal. Son of Havoc wins, and he goes on to the finals. The finals was another Falls Count Anywhere match, and it was Son of Havoc versus the Mac, and it was good. It was good. It wasn't as brutal as the first two matches. I kind of thought they held back on this, but storyline-wise, it made sense. They both went through hell. They both had rough matches. Their bodies have been beaten up, and their opponents didn't make it any better on them. So, for them to pull back in this match, storyline-wise, it made sense. Still, it wasn't as good. It didn't live up to the previous matches. But, in the end, Son of Havoc wins with his shooting star press, beats the Mac, and he becomes the winner of the tournament. So, after the match, Dario Cueto comes out with Black Lotus. He has 2 briefcases. The first one contained $250,000, which Son of Havoc can take and go home with. The second one contained a contract for the World Championship, the Lucha Underground World Championship, at Ultima Lucha Does next year. So the contract allows him to be in the main event of the next year's Ultima Lucha. And of course, which one do you think he would take? The contract. He took the contract, and then Dario, being who he is, told him, yeah, you can have the contract, but you have to win a match first. But the match will be for the contract. And the winner, if your opponent wins the match, he gets $250,000. You know, he's a slimy douchebag. That's how Dario Cueto, that's how he is. And I love it. I love how evil and sadistic this man is. You don't know what he's going to do. You can't trust him. You can't trust Dario Cueto. Anyways, Son of Havoc's opponent. Son of Havoc waits, and out comes Famous B. And Famous B turns around and shows a picture of Dr. Wagner Jr., who is his new client. Dr. Wagner Jr. came out. They praised him as one of the greatest luchadors over the last decade. I'm not going to lie. I don't know much about him. Maybe I saw him wrestle. I think I saw him wrestle a couple of times. Maybe in WCW, but his name looks familiar, and he does look familiar. I just can't remember where I saw him. Regardless, he comes out, and in my mind, I went, you're fucked. You are fucked, Son of Havoc. And I felt sorry for him. I felt so bad for him, and as you would expect, Dr. Wagner Jr., who is fresh. He is fresh. He is a veteran. He is someone that's been in the business for a long time. He was just too big of an obstacle for Son of Havoc, who went through 2 matches. A bar fight, and then a match with the Mac, and now he has to fight this guy. He wasn't going to win, and he didn't win. So it was that moment of sympathy where you felt sorry for Son of Havoc and what they did to him. And I thought that was well told. I don't know what they're going to do with him now, but I look forward. I'm not going to hope because I know they will. I look forward to seeing how they capitalize on this going forward. Will they use this to launch Son of Havoc into the main event next year? We'll see, man. We will definitely see. Although, Matt Cross has been someone I felt really didn't get an opportunity to do much for the wrestling business, so I'm happy to see him making some ground here in Lucha Underground. But that was night 1, guys. Really good night. Go out of your way to watch the Boyle Heights bar fight and the first Falls Count Anywhere. It will blow your mind. And this was night 1. We got next week, and then we got the 2-hour show afterwards. This is going to be one hell of an Ultima Lucha. We haven't even gotten started yet, and I'm already calling this show the best show this year. But give me your thoughts about tonight's Ultima Lucha, at least for night 1. Thank you guys for watching. This is your boy, Delexman, signing out. Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, everything down below in the description box. Lucha! Lucha! See you next week. Deuces.